Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Global Healing Circle. My name is Amos Campbell. I'm a healer from Peoria, Arizona. I run Health and Healing Solutions, a full spectrum healing practice. And with me today, I have our guiding members, Miss Fatini.
Hello, my name is Fatini Kale. I'm from Athens, Greece, and I'm a Paco and Master Shamanic practitioner. And I'm very happy to be here hosting this discussion that we're going to have with the rest of the group. So, Christina?
Hello, I'm Christina, and I'm a holistic well-being coach, and I help women create the lives of their dreams by tapping into their inner guidance, their soul, their mind, and their body to create this well-rounded dream life. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Miss Nora.
Yes, hello everyone, and greetings from Finland. My name is Nora. I am an energy healer and a spiritual life coach. And what I do with my clients is that I help them release the past that they don't want to carry anymore and to start building the kind of future that they are really, really wanting to live. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for that, guys. Today, we're going to be discussing meditation, both in our personal and professional lives. I'll start. When I work with my clients with meditation, I tell everyone that the subject is neuroplasticity. We're told the subject, we think, therefore you are. So if we change the way you think, we can change the way you are. There is no wrong answer. The spectrum is really large, everything from transcendental meditation to yoga to Tai Chi to Qigong, all the way to Kung Fu, depending where on the movement to meditation spectrum you fall, because not everyone can just sit and hold for 30 minutes. So I tell everyone you need a couple tools. Grab a rock, grab a mala, or a piece of stick or a chopstick. This is my little wand. And we want to take control of these thoughts, whatever it is. Breathing techniques, visualization techniques, but really it's about just staying calm and moving into another state of thought. It's associated with a trance-like state. Anything can be meditative. I tell everyone to start with the first 5 minutes, brew some herbal tea, and during the time that your tea is preparing, take 10 deep breaths, and then we're going to add some sweetener and enjoy. That was your first gentle herbal meditation. Who else has a meditation technique that's easy for our viewers?
I have one. I have the 4-4-4 breath. Changes the wave of the brain, so it helps to shift. And also shamanic journey is a form of meditation because you're going into an altered state of mind. So you could be journeying into paradise, whatever everybody feels like paradise to be, and staying there and relaxing and having the Mukis come and clean you and release you, and also giving someone a decoupling at the same time, which is balancing the fight-flight response that helps with deeper relaxation. This is the practice that I do both for myself and for the clients that come in order to, bring them down, sometimes being overstressed or something very, very intense has happened.
Beautiful. Nora?
Well, that's a good question. Because I think there are so many ways that I use meditation. I personally meditate every morning around 15 to 20 minutes. I have a routine of other stuff too, but basically what I do is that I meditate on silence and I listen to my inner guidance. So I'm kind of open for receiving messages about what I should do or how could I go through the day or something like that. But I also meditate sometimes with recordings if I need to affirm something. I also do yoga every morning. just like 5 minutes, but on Wednesday mornings, actually, I do like, I attend a class, and it is a form of meditation. And then with my clients, I recommend everyone to find a way how they feel that they can meditate. And I do something that is called inner child work. Maybe you know there are different methods, but for example, Teals 1 is very big on that. So I am a practitioner in that too, and that is a very meditative state where we actually like go to those moments in the childhood when something happened, and we kind of give that child everything he or she needs in that moment, and we change that memory. So it's a very powerful, and someone could say it's meditation. It's actually energy work, but it's very meditative. So, and then I would like to also say that Osho says that once you are present, you don't need the medicine, and the medicine is the meditation. So your everyday life should become meditation. That's his point of view. So it's about being present. So whatever brings you to the moment, I guess.
Love it. Christina, do you have anything for us?
Yes. So I think that, I mean, I meditate daily, and I have really become conscious of these two main hypnagogic states that we are in our daily lives. And not only the two main ones, which are first thing when you wake up and before you go to bed. So as you're going off to sleep at night, your brain goes into these alpha waves, then into theta, and you're in this kind of meditative state. When you're aware of this, you can actually use this as a time to be present and to be in a state where you can intend to wake up in a positive state. So you can actually use it. You can actually bring yourself into this state and then use that to change your state of being for when you wake up. Because when we wake up, as you know, melatonin drops and serotonin rises, we also are in this hypnagogic state. And it's another opportunity to just be present once you're aware of it.
I love
And
it.
yeah, and it's fascinating how it shapes your day, because you're already in this place of just being, and then you can set your intentions for the day, and you will live those intentions instead of waking up frantic to your alarm. And yes, we all have to do that sometimes, but I love this practice. I do it every day. I also, if I find myself in a higher state of anxiety or something, I will do a 15-minute meditation to binaural beats that calms the brainwaves as well. Mm-hmm. And then, or to the, the certain megahertz to each of the chakras. There are different levels. And whichever chakra I'm feeling, then I'll meditate to that level. And then with my clients, so I facilitate cacao ceremonies. So cacao is a heart opener, and it brings in these feelings of euphoria, of love, of connection, of peace. So as we are getting into this and the medicine starts working, I bring the group or the client to a state of connectedness, focusing on your heart. And I also do this without the cacao, but it's just a process where I help them get to a state where they feel connected to everything and to all that is. So it's really beautiful.
Oh, I love that. And anything that goes with chocolate, definitely up my alley.
Yes, I actually have my little afternoon pick me up
Yes.
of cacao.
I'm going to expand on your the two naturally occurring hypnagogic states that you were talking about. I just got finished with a whole bunch of Egyptian meditation methodologies, and they described it as it's called the gate of dawn and the gate of dusk. And these two gates are natural for anybody to go through them. And then once you become aware of them, you know where they are, you can go through them on your own. And then I want to expand on these two places for people to kind of wrap their heads around. When you go through these gates, then you're in what we call the mindscape, as if you have your own psychic internal planet with its own landscapes. And this is where we want to use meditation as a defragmenting thing to fix old buildings, to orchestrate new roadways, new pathways, and new solution points. But then the innermost points of us, this is what is referred to as the mind palace. You'll run into this a lot with the Mensa kids, because this is how they hold large amounts of memory in sequence. But we're going to not do that. We're going to bring this mind palace up. This is our inner manifestation of us. In the closer analogy is like the money pit. It was in the 80s with Tom Hanks. So instead, we want to visit this mansion, this inner psychic palace every day. And we want to check on the upkeep of the tapestries, of the gardens, of the fountains, of the help inside. And that is going to be the practice daily, because it's a money pit. It is constantly being torn down. We have to constantly build it back up. And then to be observant of the scape, the topography of the land, make sure there's no erupting volcanoes, no crazy hurricanes, and to bring it all back to springtime and blossoming flowers. But that takes some effort. So like a maestro, grab your chopstick and your wand, sit, and I'm going to give everyone the permission to begin to re-landscape your mindscape however you feel it should be. That should be your daily practice, and reupholster the palace. Let's just say.
Yeah. So I just had a question for you all. As I know, probably our audience may have children. What are your thoughts on meditation in schools for kids and the benefits of that? Knowing in the West and in our Western culture, anxiety is through the roof, right? We've also discovered many children with ADHD and on the spectrum of autism. So I believe that bringing meditation into schools, teaching children how to breathe with their meditations, can build a practice because you're building those neural pathways for it. And I'll come back to it, but I have a really cute, effective meditation for children that is so super simple. So, but I'd like to hear from you all.
I've seen it firsthand. A lot of my clients are teachers, and a lot of them are teachers for small children and special needs. Children react very well to short breathing exercises. It's really easy to interrupt that cycle with something tactile. A lot of children like something tactile. So a stuffy. The stuffies are probably the most highly charged artifact in our world, because the children put all that energy into it. So just help them take 7 deep breaths, or give them a soft stuffy.
Yeah, I think I have even read a study about meditation in schools, but I don't remember now at all about the details. But I think it was even scientifically proven that the emotional intelligence of those children was like rising, and that they were more calm, and this kind of like concentration problems started to fade away. But I cannot quote it very well now, because it's just like from my memory that I read it a couple of years ago. But there is actually scientific studies about this subject.
I think it's really important. Give your brain time to defragment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
I think besides all these lessons that we take in school, and I think that meditation, negotiation, and some other techniques are very useful for adult life mostly, and adolescence also, because meditation also helps with concentration. So that means what I'm doing, I'm more concentrating, I'm more present. So it's like this more efficiency, but in a way of I'm doing something, in a faster way, in an easier way. So it's definitely going to help them as adults into growing this habit.
yeah. Yeah. So just this quick meditation that actually my 4-year-old niece taught me how to do this a few years ago. I guess it's about 10 years ago now. And basically you take a Hershey chocolate kiss. Do you know what those are? The candies?
Chocolate, we're back to it.
Yes, chocolate. This is my thing. So you take those Hershey, give the child a Hershey kiss and you tell them to put it in their mouth, and they can't chew it. They just have to suck on it, and they breathe through their nose. So you give them breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, and they just have to sit in silence and let that melt and count their breath in through the nose, out through their mouth, out through their nose, sorry.
Genius.
And simple as that. And they just do it until the chocolate melts, and they love it.
Oh, I'm doing this tonight. I'm getting on Amazon tonight. I'm getting a jumbo bag of Hershey Kisses. This is done.
And it works. I mean, it really works. So I thank her for sharing that with me. It's brilliant.
That is
And
brilliant.
Also it's teaching the child to really like be present with the flavor, to really taste it, because at least in my family, we just always wanted to eat all the candies very quickly, and now it's a bad habit. So that's a good thing to learn as a child, to really like take your time to go through all the taste.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they have smaller ones too. They have like the mini, you could even use like a chocolate morsel, for like a Nestle chocolate chip or something. And they have all kinds of organic ones now, and carob. You can get vegan, you can get, you can get anything now. So yeah, experiment, play with it.
That's the way to go. Always with chocolate. Yeah, that's the way to go. I was brought up in 13 years, perfect attendance in a missionary Baptist Christian school. And I will say that they provided us time. They built in time in the day, maybe against our will, for where they forced prayer, but it's the practice of whatever your spiritual or whatever your philosophy is that you attach to, wherever you find spiritual nourishment, it's the process of giving it up. You sort of gather all these thoughts, these troubles, these anxieties in a little basket, and then we just send it down the river. Just like baby Moses in the basket, just send it down the river.
Yep. And I think that's a really good point that you're bringing up, because a lot of beginning meditators, they're just starting out, or they haven't tried it because they have this idea that you've got to completely empty your brain and, have silence. And that's just not how it is. You will always have thoughts. Your brain is always working. It's always, always, always. That does not stop unless you're in total deep meditative practice in the void state. And even then your thoughts can creep in. But if you have this practice, that's really the only time. But otherwise your thoughts are going. It's a matter of getting attached to those thoughts. And that's the key. And it's not allowing yourself to just let those thoughts fly by and in and out and flow, like you were saying.
Hmm. I would actually have a question, because in Finland we use the word meditation and mindfulness, and we don't really distinguish the difference between that. Mindfulness is a little bit trendy word, and meditation is more like for the people who are like deep into the meditation. So what is actually the difference? How do you understand these two words?
I'll split the hairs. Like, meditation is some type of practice. It's some type of ritual. It's some type of, usually we're just going to call it like a closed ending thing, something that begins and something that ends rather quickly. And mindfulness is sort of something that is cultivated where you're almost in that awareness state that we achieve in meditation, but you're carrying it throughout your day. You're able to live mindfully, you're able to walk mindfully, you're able to talk mindfully and respond mindfully to people instead of being a little more reactive. But it usually happens after some type of meditation practice has been started. So one usually happens first and it leads to the other. They are connected, but they're not what we would call mutually exclusive, because
Yeah.
sometimes we can't. And like, some people can never achieve perfect silence. I'm one of these people who will never be able to do perfect silence. Why? Because I had a horrible head injury years ago and I have tinnitus. So if you turn everything off, the room whines and screams. So I need something, whether it's just a background of a TV or the sound of rain on the TV. So, there are no wrong answers here. It's anything that allows us to go from our current and anxious state of being, angry state of being, upset state of being, to something more pleasant and positive, or at least somewhere where we can begin to process it.
And I agree with you 100%. It's the meditation is typically done as a practice in a specific way. And mindfulness doesn't necessarily bring you to a state of that kind of hypnagogic state, that lowering of the brain waves, where meditation does. And mindfulness is this practice throughout the day, being consciously aware of your actions, of your thoughts, of your being, state of being, where, a lot of us, we just go through life unconscious. And sometimes you don't, like, you're driving your car and you don't even know how you got to work this morning.
You got it. So like, we all are in the driver's seat and you got to stay on the road and you got to focus. But when you're mindful, it's almost like your conscious person is still able to drive and still doing, driving Miss Daisy. But then you're able to step back and be able to sit in the back seat like one of these queens. And now you're able to enjoy and pay attention and take it all in. I think that would be what mindfulness gets you to.
So mindfulness is a little bit like self-awareness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because
Conscious self.
non-English person, so sometimes like I'm not exactly aware of words, because in Finnish culture we use them a little bit slightly differently. Yeah.
No, your English is better than most English people. So no, you're good. You're good. And your concept is better than most of us. Yeah, you're great. You're great, love.
Thank you.
And I have to say, all of us throughout the day probably slip into this unconscious state. That doesn't make anything wrong. It just is, because we have muscle memory. So our brain, we just have this memory that lets us go. I mean, we don't count our heartbeats we're not conscious of our heartbeats at every moment.
Well,
right?
like reading is meditative. A lot of people, especially during the pandemic, took up like knitting and all these other things that are meditative.
Holding
with your
the
hands
laundry.
can be meditative. Video
Doing
games.
dishes.
Yes, cleaning is probably one of the most meditative things, and I am processing something if I am cleaning. It's like a psychic thing. I'm able to clean the landscape better if my surroundings are clean.
And that actually leads me to, those are the other hypnagogic states that we go into throughout the day, is when we're kind of doing these menial tasks and like doing the dishes or the laundry or reading, or that puts you in that slower brainwave.
So I'm going to tell everyone, just grab your chopstick and start reorganizing all of these thoughts and all of these things like a beautiful orchestra. And here in a couple weeks, it'll be playing music like never before. So with this, I think we've covered most of the things of meditation. I want to go around the table one more time and give everyone some closing thoughts. My thought is, you think, therefore you are. So let's start thinking about yourself in a more positive way, and let's see what we can cultivate after that.
I would say try the 1 minute meditation. Just 1 minute for the beginning. For those who are not very familiar with that, just try the 1 minute with your clock, with your mobile, and set a time that it's going to start and stop. And also, there are sometimes with sessions that I feel like if the client is on a meditation state, I'm also getting the benefit of that. There are many times after sessions that I am more relaxed, more conscious, more peaceful. It kind of goes both ways, I think. Like giving and receiving when giving sessions.
Yeah, I'll say that there are so many resources that it's really, really easy to bring this into your life on a daily basis. And even if you can't do it on a daily basis, to start 3 times a week, maybe only on the weekends you do it, but bringing some sort of practice into your life. And YouTube, so many free resources, YouTube, but there are all kinds of apps to help you and find what works for you, because that's really the key.
Yeah, and I would like to say a few things. First of all, I agree with all of you. And meditation also should be fun. Like, you shouldn't force yourself doing something that you don't like. And then another thing is that just do the commitment, because it's all about practicing a new habit in your life that is very beneficial. It's like showering. So we don't like to shower when we are children. We hate the sponges and the soap and the stuff in our eyes. But still, once we learn it, it's automatic, and we all know how good it is for all of us. So it's the same with meditation. Just make the commitment, make the decision to choose yourself and give yourself this time. It doesn't need to be a long time, just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but do it daily. Don't just stop it, because you don't see the benefits before you actually have done it more than 30 days, I would say. So enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone for joining us on this episode of the Global Healing Circle. All of our members are available on Facebook and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.